Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Robbie and I'm a photographer slash videographer from the Northwest. So I'll be honest, I don't really know what I'm going to post on this channel just yet. The idea is tutorials, camera gear, hopefully vlogs if I get the courage to do it, both work related and outdoors hiking and stuff like that as well. And hopefully a podcast. These are just all ideas at the moment. I'll have to figure it out. At the moment it's hard enough just talking to a camera, like no one's in the room, and I've probably done like 5 takes. So I'm not just going to ramble on, and I'm not going to make just a video saying I'm making videos. There is a video, as you can tell by the title, that will go after this, but at the moment I don't have a clue what it's going to be, so you've got a better idea than me. So whatever it is, I hope you enjoy it, and any feedback would be appreciated. So that intro was recorded a month ago, and since then I've been struggling with ideas of what to film and what people might find helpful. I thought I'd strip it straight back to basics and do a Lightroom walkthrough. It's easy to forget as someone who uses it every day that there's going to be things in there that people don't know, and everyone has to learn somewhere. So we're just going to go right into it and start checking things out. So I was going to go into detail on every single slider, and then I realized as someone who's new, there's a lot that you're not going to touch. We're just going to focus on the ones that are important and will help you edit your photos right now, rather than messing around with stuff that isn't essential for the moment. So we're just going to edit this photo, and hopefully me talking through it and using basic adjustments and tools in Lightroom, we can show you how to edit a photo. So histogram, don't really need to bother with that. This is your crop tool, all different sizes. If you're posting to Instagram, we're going to go for the 4x5, and then auto. So we've just straightened the photo, but you can click on the little level and go on whatever the horizon is in the photo, and then it'll line it up with that. This is the healing tool. This is to get like stuff out of your photo. So we'll just go like that on the wave, and then boom, it's gone. I'm including this in the basic because a lot of times there's things that you see in photos that you wish might not be there, and they're actually quite easy to get out. But if you don't know how to do that, then it could potentially ruin your photo, or you think it could ruin your photo. So stuff like that, heal tool, easy to get rid of, bam. The red eye, I've never used that, so we're gonna skip past that. Then we've got masking. This is something that I didn't use for a while, and I kind of wish that I learnt it earlier, so we're gonna go through it. We're going to keep it simple. You can brush these. There is subject and sky masks, but what we're going to do is focus on linear and radial. So what this does is if we drag, it'll bring up this red mask, and what it does is we can, for that that's covered in the red, we can lower the exposure, we can up the exposure. We can basically fine tune just that area due to that mask. So we'll just correct it and maybe bring it down a little bit. And then same with the radial filter. Let's give that a go. Radial. And I usually use this inverted. So if you had a subject in the middle and you had this and you want them lit up, you could light them up a little bit more just to put a little bit of emphasis on them, or you can invert it and use it as a bit of like a vignette, so it can then like focus a bit more on a certain subject. Nothing crazy, but something that might come in handy. So yeah, then we've got all our basic adjustments: exposure, which is brightness; contrast, which does this; highlights, you can just adjust them; shadows, you can make them brighter or darker. And I wouldn't really bother with the whites and blacks if you're just getting started. If you are going to use any, I'd probably suggest using the blacks to lift the dark parts rather than to crunch them. So if you are going to use it, just that. Texture, clarity adds a bit of sharpness, but don't go too nuts on them. Dehaze, you could use that in like mist and fog just to like emphasize something. Doesn't really work on this photo, so I'm not going to show it. Straight to tone curves, so we're going to ignore the red, green and blue and just focus on the main one. And what we tend to do is put an S curve in. And the changes that we make here can affect the image in what looks like a negative way, so you might have to go back to your basic adjustments if you've made any, and just adjust what they look like. Here you can see there's this like faded look, and that's due to having your blacks lifted. So without, with, so it's not a massive change, but it does change it. So yeah, I'd usually stick with the S curve, don't bother with any of the others, and you should be good to go. If you are starting off, you're probably not going to get too much into the HSL section. So what I'm just going to focus on at the moment is the saturation part of it. So we can change the saturation of all the colours that are in the photo, but if we go on to this little thing, we can click on certain bits and lower the saturation. Like I could see in the waves that there was some like orange in that due to the tone curve that we put in. So we can just lower it, get rid of that again. And yeah, I don't edit my photos like this, to be fair. I use presets, which I'll show you at the end, but we're just showing you how to use the tools basically. Color grading, again, if you're new, maybe not the best things to fiddle around with straight away, but basically you can add certain colors in the shadows and then certain colors in the highlights. So we could just throw a bit of blue in the shadows and then maybe a bit of warmth. I actually don't like it, but it's just an example. So we've got blue tones in the shadows and a tiny bit orange in the highlights. Yeah, I actually prefer it without, but you get the picture. The only effects that I'm going to go into is grain. With having this faded look, sometimes it is nice to throw a bit of grain in there. I don't know if this is going to show up on YouTube, but you can now see that you've got grain showing nicely in the photo. I like it personally, some people don't. Just to give it like it was took on a film camera kind of vibe. So yeah, that's basically it. I wouldn't bother with any of the transform stuff until later down the line, and anything that I have missed out we can cover in a later video. So these are just basic adjustments that we've made, and if you press Y you can see a before and after of what the photo looks like. That's just with little changes that we've made, just checking out what we've got on the side. But like I said, I personally use presets, and we can go into them in another video, but just to show you what they look like, I used Forrest Mankin's presets, and then I love his because like straight off the bat it's got that like film look. But yeah, we'll go into presets on another video where I can show you how to import them, why they don't always look right straight off the bat, and yeah, we'll just go into more detail on them. But hopefully these little walkthroughs on the side bits have been helpful, and if you've liked it, like the video. If not, don't like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.